Hello, assalamu alaikum.
So in this class today we are going to make a three-quarter khimar. In our last class we discussed on how to make a longer full-length khimar for the umbrella style. But for this class we'll be making an umbrella khimar, but it's going to be three-quarter. It's not going to be long. It's just a little bit different. It's not really much of a difference, but it's still a little bit different. So, and I'm going to use my paper to explain this lesson. So for an umbrella khimar, in case if you don't know the difference between all these khimars, the umbrella khimar has a center joining, like I said, in the middle of the center front. There is a joining there. As we proceed, you will be seeing the differences more. Now, like I said, I'll be using a quarter of inch. I'm going to use a quarter scale in order to make this class well explanatory. So instead of us using 2 yards or 3 yards of trouser where you may not be able to see everything that I'm doing, I'll be using paper so that we can explain this very clearly. So when you want to make a three-quarter khimar, it's not going to be long. It can be a knee length, it can be above the knee or a little bit below the knee. It can be three-quarter, it can be knee length, or it can be at the first length, in as much it's not touching the ground, so it's not your full length. So some people can use 1 trouser, 2 trousers. Some people use tall people can use 3 trousers. So it's not going to be very long. It's not going to touch the ground. So the first thing you do is when you have your three-quarter khimar, you fold your fabric into 2 like so. Can you see? Then the other thing is that we have the folded edge here. Then we have this rough edge, this open fold for the other 3 parts. Now, the next thing to do is you take a tip of your fabric here, then you place it in such a way that they will join the folded edge parts in form of a triangle. So if you have a sewing knowledge before, you understand that this fold is the bias fold. And now we have 4 folds, 2 folds like so and 2 folds this way. So like I said, the front body is usually longer than the back. The back body is usually longer than the front body. So what we are going to do now is that you measure your length, your desired length. Now, I'm going to start from the tip of the khimar. So let's say this is my front length. So here is now my front length is 20, and this is just like a quarter scale. So this is the front, and you know we have 2 folds and we have the longer fold here. So this longer fold is the back. So after that, you now have your 6 inches extra. We explained more of that in our previous lesson, how to use the bust, how bust determine the length of the back, the length of the addition that will be adding to the back. So now for this kind of person, she's a medium average person, so I'm going to use 6 inches for it. So I'll measure my extra 6 inches after the front body is here. Can you see that? Okay, so I'll measure. Let's say this is my front body, this is my 6 inches. I'll mark that. Now I will now go to my length here. So all in all now, it's just because I'm using a quarter scale. So all in all now, I have 23 inches for my own here. But when you want to do your own, you had your full length, then you had maybe 2 inches, 6 inches extra. Then you now go to the other folded edge, and you know we have the folded edge, we have the opening fold here. So you now measure from the top of your fabric here, then you now measure 23 like this side, but you'll be deducting 2 inches from it. So rather than making it 23, rather than making it 23, the same 23, you'll be deducting 2 inches from here. So now I have something like this. So the reason why I deducted 2 inches was actually very easy. I'm trying to make sure that it's blend. You know, here will be the side. It's not going to be, this is the back, this is the center back, and here will be the sides. But here, these 2 parts here will be the front. So at the end of the day, when I join it back, it's going to blend perfectly. So that is how it is. So I'm not going to blend from here. I'm going to blend slowly. Can you see that? So it's just to join here like this. So my front bodies, my back will be longer, and it slowly blend to 2 inches lesser. So that is it. Then the next thing now is that I'll now cut this out. So then we cut out. Okay. So we have this now. Then we have our quarter khimar. Let me see. But when you notice that, if you notice, you notice that, okay, this is the center front now. Let me label. I'm going to write CF, and here is the center back. Can you see that? So now, the next thing now is I'm going to try and shape this, because if you notice, here is let me see, it's a bit not very straight. So we just make that curve, make the curve like so. So in order to just make it blend, then you can cut out. So it's going to blend perfectly like so. Okay. So now we have our fold. We have our khimar. So here is where we are going to join, and we have this. Now the next thing is we need to know where to insert our. We need to know where to insert our sleeve. So I'm just going to open it like so. So this is this is the center here. You know, this is the center back, and we have something like this side. So here is the side. So the first thing you're going to do is that you measured like 18 and a half to 19 and a half. You measure where your sleeve is going to be. Like I said it depends on the length of the client. So for somebody here, we'll be using 28. Let's assume it's 28. So cutoff scale is 7 around here. So can you see that? So we have this. Then the next thing is to measure our 19 inches or 18 and a half. 18 and a half to 19, depending on you. So you measure it from that back, so as to know where you're going to fit in. So now I'm going to be using 18 and a half now. So that means it's going to be around here. Can you see? Then my desired length. So my desired length for my opening. So I'm going to use 2 and a half because mine is different. You know, I'm using a cutoff scale. So instead of 10, I'm using 2 and a half. So from here. So after that, I'm not going to measure from here again because it's not supposed to be straight down. It's supposed to be slanted. So here it will now be 19 and a half. So it will be 19. So if you use 19 here, so that means this side will be 19 and a half. So you just try and adjust like so. So here now is here. So can you see? Then it's not going to be straight, so it's going to be slanted like this. So you just join it, then you open that slit. So here is where the sleeve will be. Can you see it? So I'm going to move it closer, then I will explain again. So now this is my center front, this is my center back, and this is the side. You know, when we fold it, we have something like this. Can you see that? So now the next thing is to know where to insert our zipper, our sleeve. So in order to know where to insert your sleeve, you're going to fold like so. You start from the top of the paper here, from the fabric. Okay, so you're going to start from the top of the fabric and measure down your place of where to insert the sleeve. It's the same just like the full khimar. So for my own now, I'm going to assume it's 7, that's 28. So quarter scale is 7 inches around here. Now the next thing is, now you now measure that from this center back, it has to be like 19 and a half. Let me see, like 18 and a half. I'll be using 18 and a half here, but if you can use 19, it's still fine. So 18 and a half to like 19. So you now measured from the back bodies, you measured up to like 18. Is that that 7, now that 28 that you measured. You know 28 is not fixed, I'm just using it for my own. Excuse me. So when I've done that, this is where my own is here. So the next thing is now to measure my desired sleeve opening. So let's assume you are using 5 now. So I'm going to measure, I'm going to just roll a fainted line up to that 5. Then after that, I'm not going to measure it again from the back bodies. So if I use 18 and a half for the first, I'm going to add 0.5 to the second one. Now to give me 19. So when I measured up to here, I have something like this. So the idea is just for it not to be straight. It should be slanted. So this is where the opening will be. So at the end of the day, you'll be able to add your sleeve here. So this is where the sleeve will be. And it's going to be by the side. So when you open, that will be where your side will be. So it's not straight, it should have been like this, but it's just slanted. So it needs to be like this, and it's going to be like this. So that is all about the quarter khimar. And please do try to watch the video, and if there's any question, please do ask. I'm going to see you in the next class. Thanks for staying with me. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.